Hey there, Carnage Cravers. Welcome back to Carnage Corner. I am Ken Carnage, and I did it! I actually am managing to do all of my review shows for this week. It's a July miracle. Christmas in July, there you go. Alright, so jumping right on into it because I don't have a lot of time. 205 Live. I have not actually managed to sit down and watch Midgets on Trampolines in probably a couple of months. So, playing a little bit of catch up. TJP is still a douche, and that's fine. That's okay with me. TJP has opened up with a promo, had himself a match against Noam Dar. Apparently, Noam Dar is a face now. I hadn't gotten the memo. Whatever. TJ and Noam, they put themselves on a match. I'm not a big fan of like lucha libre high flying shit that doesn't work. I do like precision strikes, so some of what these guys do I can definitely appreciate. The match wasn't bad. Wasn't a match of the year candidate or anything like that, but it wasn't a bad match. As a match, TJP won. So now Noam Dar is no longer undefeated since coming back, and we'll see where they go from there. But after that, we went into Drew Gulak coming out with Jack Gallagher and Brian Kendrick to beat up on a jobber. He pretty much just clotheslined him, locked him in a hold, and made him tap. So Drew Gulak showing some dominance, new ring gear, new attitude. I don't hate it. So I actually enjoyed Gulak's work. Gulak then cut a promo, making it very clear that he wanted a shot at the Cruiserweight Championship, and hopefully he will get one. We then had an interview with Buddy Murphy and Tony Nese, and they're having their issues with the Lucha House Party, and apparently next week on 205 Live we're going to get Tony Nese one-on-one with Kalisto with nobody at ringside. So that was the end of that. Then we got Lio Rush versus Tozawa, and Lio Rush, he's I was not a big fan of his. And not because he doesn't have good ability or anything like that. He's great. I was not a fan of this gimmick he had on the independent scene where he no sells moves. Like I saw him no sell a bump, a power bomb off a ladder through a table, right, and then no sell that as he gets up, goes right into a package power driver, and no sells that. It's like, what in the hell, But I was very, 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 very pleased. He sold his ass off for Tozawa. These two had a really, really good match. I really enjoyed it. A lot of striking. I'm a big fan of the striking. I don't mind a little bit of high flying, especially when striking is involved in it. But this was a good match. I really enjoyed it. Leo walked away with the win. It was a hard fought win, and I'm happy. I'm happy about that. I look forward to seeing what they do with Leo in the future. I could totally see him as Cruiserweight Champion at some time in the future. Beyond that, I don't really see them doing much with him. I don't ever see this guy going up to SmackDown or Raw. I don't even really expect to see much out of him on NXT. He's a 205 Live guy, and he'll be able to really shine there. So after that, Cedric Alexander goes into Drake Maverick's office because he wants to know who he's going to be defending his Cruiserweight title against. Drake says, I'm going to do a fatal four-way match next week, and the winner of that match will face you for the Cruiserweight title. So, and that was the end of that. Now moving into NXT, NXT started off with Dakota Kai versus Lacey Evans. I wasn't overly impressed with this match. Their timing wasn't that great with each other. They missed a couple of spots. It was very clear that they missed spots. Generally speaking, I've liked Lacey Evans' work in the past, but for whatever reason, her and Dakota Kai just not gelling very well. Evans did win the match, which nothing wrong with that. We then go into an interview with Ricochet. Ricochet, I guess, is running a program right now with Adam Cole. Perhaps Ricochet will face Cole for the North American Championship at TakeOver Brooklyn. I don't know. We're going to see. But we then went into, we see EC3. He's kind of walking around at the what I believe is the Performance Center, talking to a few people and whatnot, and ends up having this conversation with Kona Reeves, which I'm not digging that gimmick. I'm not digging Kona Reeves. I'm not. I'm not digging that. But they made it appear that we're going to have at least a match, if not a program, between Kona and EC3. I hope EC3 wipes the floor with the smug little prick. So, going from there, we got Cassius Ohno versus Rick Ramirez, who is essentially a jobber. And, of course, Ohno wins in short fashion because Rick's a jobber. Undisputed Era gave themselves a promo, slapping themselves on the back and, trash talking Ricochet and whatnot. Normal stuff you expect from Undisputed Era. We then got a vignette on the War Raiders giving a little history, and that's good for somebody like me who was not familiar with them before they showed up on NXT. These guys are interesting. So far, I don't hate their work, so we'll see where they go from here. The whole Viking gimmick is cool. I can dig it. We'll see where we go from there. And then we go into a Velveteen Dream vignette that seemed to last forever. Oh my god, we get it, you're creepy and weird. I like Velveteen Dream too. He's got a great work rate, a compelling character, but this vignette was like, okay, we get it. You're done. You can stop. And then, of course, after that, we go right into our triple threat main event to decide the number one contender for the women's championship, and that was Nikki Cross versus Candice LeRae versus Kairi Sane. Pretty good match, despite the fact that I'm not a fan of Candice LeRae. I don't like the way she I don't like the way she works. I really don't like her character. I can't stand her husband, and she just seems to be an extension of his character. She's not even her own character. So I'm over it. I'm not impressed with that at all. But I love Nikki Cross, and I love Kairi Sane, and I love their work and their characters, and this was really, really good. Kairi Sane picking up the win as Shayna Baszler looked on from commentary. So at TakeOver Brooklyn, we're going to have the rubber match between Kairi Sane and Shayna Baszler, and it's going to be for the NXT Women's Championship. Next week, they have announced Tommaso Ciampa getting an NXT title match against Aleister Black. Now, I'm not a betting man normally, but I'm betting. I would be willing to bet Tommaso Ciampa walks out of there with the NXT Championship. And I will be supremely happy if that happens. I love Aleister Black, but I would like to see Aleister brought up to the main roster, preferably SmackDown, because I want to see Aleister Black versus AJ Styles. That's a match I want to see. So, that being said, I am Ken Carnage, and remember, until next time, Carnage is right around the corner.